In remembering 2013, I'd like to salute some of the people who passed away. And for those of you who know me, it may be no surprise that I'll be focusing on the musicians. Now, first of all is Ray Manzarek. Some of you may or may not know the name. He was the keyboard player for the Doors, and he created that beautiful organ intro for the hit song, Light My Fire. Then there's Lou Reed. Lou is a strange kind of dude. He had a large cult following, and he'll be remembered basically for one song. I often say that a song, like a speech, should have a message. And this was Lou's message. Hey man, take a walk on the wild side. And now we come to Alvin Lee. Alvin Lee played lightning fast guitar for a band called 10 Years After. And I used to hate 10 Years After. The guitar was much too fast, and the fans were such fanatics. But once I got into their music, I was hooked. Let me tell you what a 10 Years After concert was like. I was sitting in the first row of the balcony one night. 10 Years After had just finished this loud, dynamic set. And as they walked off, the crowd went wild. I mean, they jumped out of their seats, they were stomping their feet, clapping their hands. It felt like the whole building was shaking. Now, from where I was sitting, it was kind of scary. It was like the balcony was going to come crashing down. So I turned to the person next to me and I started to say something. But nothing came out. I found this disturbing. I was freaked out. But then I realized what was happening. The roar from the crowd was so loud, so deafening, that I could not hear my own voice. That's what a 10 Years After concert was like. And now we come to Richie Havens. Some of you may know I did a speech about Richie Havens that's on YouTube. But today, I'd like to talk about Woodstock. I got to Woodstock early with the other potheads. I sat down on a hill overlooking the stage and I said, what time does the music start? And the answer I got was, around 6 o'clock tonight. I looked at my watch. It was 12 noon. I remember the sun was blazing hot. There was no shelter, no shade. I fell asleep on the grass. Well, the next thing I knew, I was awakened by the sweet, soothing sound of Richie Havens. He had a wonderful voice. It was so sonorous, so mellifluous, so rich. But Richie was not supposed to open the show that day. This is what happened. 500,000 people had surrounded the stage. They couldn't get the equipment in. So they turned to Richie and they said, you gotta go out there. Well, Richie said, don't look at me. I'm not going on first. Not me. They said, Richie, there's nobody else can do it. You gotta do it, please. They begged him. So he acquiesced. He went out there, he did his set. When he was finished, he started to walk off, and they said, where are you going? Get back out there. He said, look, I did every song I know. So you know what they told him? Well, then wing it. Richie went out there, he started strumming his guitar, and he sang one word. Freedom, 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 freedom. The crowd was stunned. This became the signature sound of Woodstock. He ad-libbed for a while, and then he tried to walk off the stage again, but they pushed him back out. They said, don't stop now. Without skipping a beat, he turned around, strumming like a madman, and he sung, clap your hands, clap your hands, clap your hands, clap your hands. He went on and on, he improvised. He threw in bits and pieces of every song he knew. It was absolutely amazing. There were many songs sung at Woodstock that weekend by many bands, the best bands in the world. But there's one song that's remembered above all others. It's a song that came to be known as Freedom that Richie Havens created, improvised spontaneously that day. Many years later, decades later, I ran into Richie Havens in Manhattan. We reminisced about Woodstock. I told him how perfect it was that he opened the show. And then I asked him to autograph his latest album. He wrote in it, "To Andrew, a friend forever, love Richie." I think that just about says it all. It says a lot about the man, but I think it also says a lot about my generation and the relationship we had with our musicians and our music. It was not some trivial throwaway thing. It was something enduring, something lasting. It was something special. And so, in celebrating those who passed away in 2013, I'd like to salute them. And this is my message to them. Thank you for the contribution you made to us. Thank you for sharing so much of yourselves with us. But most of all, thank you for just being you. Thank you for just being